Hello and welcome to a new series where we'll be playing through a creator team mode on the newly released F1 Manager 2024. So this is a new feature for F1 Manager 24 with the ability to create your own team. It's been hotly requested over, since the F1 Manager series was started in 22. So a big plus that this has now been released. So we'll start by naming the team. So Dino Racing is the name of the team, and it's quite nice in when you set it up, there's a couple of different origins you can choose. Now the first one, your story, is you have complete ability to change the settings, and then there's various different other scenarios you can pick, whether they basically fix the quality of car, facilities, driver and staff. But we're going for, I think it's one of the harder ones, in that we are a hungry newcomer. So Victorine Schultz is an entrepreneur who's given us some funding to create a new team, Dino Racing, and the starting balance is, I believe that's the lowest you could start with, 20 million. The team rating is 1. And unfortunately the powertrain manufacturer is Renault, so the least powerful one, although I do believe it has the best fuel efficiency, so we might have to take advantage of that by under-fueling to try and make up for some of that lack of power. But anyway, there are kind of the quality. So we've got 2-star car, 1-star facility, 2-star driver, 2-star staff. So we hit next. And here, so if you're playing one of the your own story version, you could kind of select from any driver, whether they're currently contracted or not, and you could select different ratings, all the way up to the kind of 5-star Verstappen, Hamilton, etc. Instead, we are locked in at 2, so we have a much smaller selection of drivers. Bar a couple of them, they don't have much experience in F1 or any at all. But in terms of the selections we're going to be making, I want to avoid anyone that's currently in contract. Obviously we can go after people that are in contract later on, but for now I think our first driver is going to be Liam Lawson, currently Red Bull and RB's reserve driver. I'll give him a shot, an F1 seat. And it's already randomly generated. The second driver I wanted to choose, Mick Schumacher, so a return for Mick. Hopefully a more successful one. Given the state of this team being newly created, it probably won't be any different to his Haas days to begin with, but hopefully we can make some improvements on that front. And then it comes on to staff, so we've got a few positions that we need to pick, and again we are limited to only 2 rating staff. We'll leave it with James Key as our technical chief. He is slightly higher rated for the same price, and I don't think we'll make any change here. We'll stick with De Beer. Again, same rating, same cost, so not too much of an issue. And in terms of sporting director, so you see there's a couple of sporting director staff that I don't know any of these names, but I imagine they're F2 given the logo, and therefore they haven't had the luxury of photos being taken. I think I would prefer someone with a photo. So we'll change it for Marco Peroni. I don't know the correct pronunciation, but Marco, we'll call him that. I'll select him. And when it comes to a race engineer for Liam Lawson, we will select Pierre Hamlin. And for Schumacher. We'll leave it. Josh Pickett. So they're the 5 stuff that we need to select. So this is the Dino Racing team, and we'll move on to our branding. So there's a lot of changes you can make, car livery wise, driver suit, etc., and of course the logo, but I won't bore you with the creation of such things, so I'll be back extremely shortly and we'll have the Dino Racing livery, driver suit and logo done. And we're back, and here we have the race car, the driver suits, logos all sorted. I'll spin around so you can have a look at the logo. Kept it quite plain and simple, just one of the presets with black and green as both the secondary and tertiary colours, and all we need to do is just set up a couple of more settings. We can switch to Experience Manager, and we'll leave it a standard car development race because this is already quite a challenging scenario to begin with. There we are. The team is set up as quick as that. And straight onto our dashboard. And I suppose first things to note, you can see both Lawson and Schumacher are not particularly happy. And going to the mentality summary, you can see no one is happy. And I mean, I'm not sure why they're so unhappy. They've just signed them to this job, but they are. I think it's mostly team principle based, would be my guess. Yeah. So I think we'll struggle to. It's mainly drivers, car performance, facilities. Hopefully, we'll work on all of those things in the coming weeks. But for now, we'll have to bear in mind that most people are quite unhappy. But there we are. Right. Pierre is just welcoming us on board at Dino Racing, but nothing else interesting there. So obviously, top right, we can see we've got sponsor negotiation coming up in 6 days before 6 days being here, and there's some pre-testing results as well, before obviously we head into Bahrain at the end of February. Before we go any further though, 2 things I want to do. First, we need to get some car development on the go, and we design some new parts. Oh, and before, I should have gone back and checked actually. This screen is much better at seeing where we need to make some improvements. As it stands then, we're ranked 17th on the grid now. There's 22 on the grid now, given that we have 1 extra team, and as expected for a new team, we're fairly poor, particularly in the DRS and low speed fronts. And then when we go and look at mixed car, it's slightly worse. So I suppose we're probably depends on how it works out, but maybe the 9th worst team out of 11, and generally not in a good shape. But I mean, if we use Liam's car as the better view of our performance, then it's low speed and DRS effectiveness that are struggling, and then pretty much everything else. The only thing that we're not really we're doing pretty well on is tyre preservation, so we don't need to worry too much about that. But let's start by going into the design. So the parts take about a month before we start worrying about more engineers and rushing it. So realistically, we're probably only going to get new parts, Melbourne and Suzuka, of which you see these little ticks here. DRS effectiveness, top and high speed are important for Melbourne. Suzuka, medium and high So perhaps if we work on something to give us DRS effectiveness and also to work on high speed. Now the most obvious one for hitting both of those is our rear wing. So let's check the days. So 33 days is Melbourne. Hopefully we can get it before then. Rear wing, and the ATR period is only 15 days away. So we're not really going to have much of an opportunity to kind of do many developments. So we're probably only just going to work on 2, so we can halve the CFD and wind tunnel hours. So we can hit next, design focus. Quite interested in the high speed performance, so I kind of don't want worse low speed. So maybe bring that forward a little bit, that's better. So obviously big improvement in high speed, drag reduction, and DRS delta, but airflow sensitivity. But otherwise, not doing anything lifespan wise. So we could decrease the lifespan. Presumably that would then give us some. That would reduce the extra weight. Well, they're big chunks. They come down like that. So take that off now. So really, I don't want it 32 days when it's 33 days away, because we do need to manufacture the part. So if we go rushed, it's fairly expensive, 2.7 million, but we will get it in time, and we can hopefully start moving up the grid. So I'll lock that in. Design part 2. Switch this back to that. Melbourne and Suzuka. What else could we? I think maybe we just go for wings. Get all the wings done. And we can just use up the rest of our CFD and wind tunnel hours. And we'll be sorted. Now, I think I'm happy for a more balanced approach on this one. Although the only thing is, I'm going to take off some of this tyre preservation, because we don't really need more tyre preservation. We are a length on the grid in that front anyway. So all of our engineers will rush it. 21 days, another 2.7 million. And there's our front and rear wing done. Now we can move forward. And let's start the negotiations. So there are 3 options. Got a 2 1-star APTID crypto and AB. I don't know if it's supposed to be just initials or ABAOS, ABAOS. Either way, they're both 1-star, and the performance reliance is low and moderate. Whereas Ferro Energy, which I assume is the pronunciation, is 3-star, so they do expect some performance on the day. But that might be risky to take. But we definitely need the cash, and there's a big upfront payment. I mean, I suppose that upfront payment is pretty good there, but there's a lot in the back-end race day performance for Ferro Energy. So we're going to take them. And we've got a selection of other funding we can take, so we're just going to select through a couple of these. I'd prefer not to have the mandatory activity, just so we have a bit more choice. So we can take Farum Star Manufacturing. We'll take Myram Coin. Crypto, we'll take Serpent as a fuel sponsor. And now we've got have 3 left, and we're going to select 2. Facility effectiveness. Take Henrik Engineering. Well, our main sponsor is an energy drink, so I think it would be silly to have a secondary energy drink sponsor. So we'll go for Arcor Technology. And there we have it. So it's going to give us 90 million up front, 35 million potential in engagement, and another 30 million potential in race day. So some big sums, but we'll need it. And you can now see we have some energy. Well, we do have an energy sponsor. We now have some sponsorship on our suits and on our car. And see, they do get placed on there. Some of them are a little off and need some tweaking. So with the magic of cutting, I will be back in just a sec with this sorted out. And we're back. So just had to tweak this little ferro energy to make it fit, make it a bit small and shift it around. And the driver suit's a bit awkward to show, but just put a ferro NRG decal on at the back of our suits. Otherwise, we're good. And more sponsorship deals or activities. So we don't have any mandatory activities to do, but nonetheless, we do need to hit this target here, which is quite high. If I'm honest though, probably not going to have a lot of success early on. So the fact that we might have some issues, I'm not too worried about. So I don't want our aerodynamics impacted at all this time around because of what we're working on in terms of front and rear wing development. I'm happy not to scout. It's very early in the season, so or scout as much, so we can select that one. And I'm not really worried about our affiliate driver either, Franklin. Once we do some scouting, we'll work on that. Right, the factory, we'll probably get away with that at the end. Well, we are struggling to hit many points here. It's probably because I've selected quite low ones. We're maybe going to need a race day appearance to get us anywhere near. We'll do that. Apologies for disrupting Lawson's day. Don't know if I can change what driver is doing it. Feels unfair. To cause Liam Lawson to do it twice. Go to the design theatre as well. And how many more do we need? Even the sponsor event, but we are struggling. We'll do post-race debrief. That just puts us over the edge. And there we go. £2 million. Feels like that's a lot of work to get that 2 million, but there we are. So key stuff we already know that we picked them all, and welcome to the 2024 season. So, De Beer, the head of Air and Dino Racing, has increased in performance rating. So has our village driver Franklin. And what we should do really is look at our facilities. So we've got 33 million to spend. Let's see what we should pick up. What? Okay, so this will improve our mentality, the team problem, so we can pick that up. Because we're desperate for that. It'd be silly not to have a race simulator, right? So we might actually get quite a few things running at the minute. Don't need a memorabilia room. Not yet, at least. I'm going to actually upgrade the weather center. I feel like the only way we're going to get points in the near future is to kind of outplay on the strategy front when it comes to switching to or from wet weather conditions. Get the hospitality area done. And all of those things are pretty cheap. But that's because most of the cost comes on the car development front. So I think we will upgrade our wind tunnel. We'll have a lot of wind tunnel hours, CFD hours to spend, and we'll upgrade our CFD simulator. And we shall leave it there with 9.3 million. And we can head into Bahrain. And it's supposed to be cloudy. Shouldn't be any rain though. And 75% safety car chance, so highly likely, and it is going to be either 22 seconds or 16. Expect a 2-stop. Now, here's where we can start to select the target. So for Liam, I think I'm happy with an 18th. I wouldn't expect anything better than that. And we'll go a little lower for Mick, and we'll select 20th. Although saying that, he has two. I'm going to switch around, but let's see. I wonder whether that team activity we've signed Liam up for is going to have an impact. So we'll go 20th on Liam. We'll go 18 on Mick. And we'll lock down. So I think the plan is I'll
F1 is back, ladies and gentlemen, and the grid is set to grow.
I'll walk through the practice. I'll probably show you the highlights of qualifying. If I'm honest, I'm expecting it to only be Q1. I'd be surprised if we made it through. And then we'll work through the race, and we'll dip in and out for highlights rather than show the entire thing. Again, I think we're going to be fighting at the back, at least for a few races until we get some new parts out. And then hopefully we pull some incredible strategies out the bag, and we might be able to steal a point or two towards the next few races. But we'll go with that format. We'll see how that works. So I'll check back in partway through practice. So we're back in, and Lawson's just completed his first run. Satisfaction 48%. So we have some work to do, but we've got some narrow ranges. Got some better ideas now, so we can make a few tweaks. And I suppose the big things are braking, traction, and stability that we're trying to work on. Right. Well, there's something. We've changed it. Right. We're going to do another 15 run. We're going to leave on these hards. So we've still got a decent amount of life left in them, and I'm not too worried about the pace that's actually coming out. So we'll do something similar with Schumacher, and we'll see if we can fare any better than 18th and 19th. So results are in for P1, and we came 19th for Mick, 21st in Liam. Now that's fine. I mean, given we actually end up with a slightly better setup for Mick than we did for Liam, but we're going to correct that. And I suppose it's a bit hard to tell in practice. It's the first practice of the entire season. Most of the other times were set on mediums and soft. However, there were a lot of reserve drivers out in the field. So you've got Chloe Chambers there. Where else? A few other. Frederick Vesti, Jack Crawford. Got Pato. Oliver Behrman's out there. Isaac. So maybe we're not so far away from hitting our targets, but we're definitely a long way away from getting any points. But on we go. So, driver prep 14:21, still very, very low. I suppose partly because I changed the setup right at the end and we didn't get a chance to do a run on it. So we're going to do some medium runs, maybe hit a soft run or so. Obviously that'll be a focus in P3 as well. And here we are, P2 now. Let's start off by seeing that Schumacher, and you see at least in my view, the lovely green Dino Racing car coming out on track. We're first.
Again, let's concentrate on those tyres and brakes.
Let's see if we can fare a little better with our setups this time around. So, we're back. Schumacher's happy with his car. He's still out there. Should be coming in. How many laps has he done? 10. I mean, he's got fuel for another 10. Lawson should be getting his feedback very soon. And hoping it's going to be a bit better than it was last time. Let's speed that up. There we go.
How is the balance, please?
No audio, but he said it feels great. So that's good, a step in the right direction. They've not been as positive so far. We'll let them run a little bit. So I want to get up their car parts and track acclimatization rather than just bring them in. Because it seems like the setups are in a pretty decent space. And then maybe we can do a longer run on these mediums and see what kind of tyre degradation we can get. And here we are. So the first session of competitive racing. So it's Q1, Bahrain. Let's hope we can just stay off the bottom. We don't want to be filling out the back row. But we would like to be pushing towards making Q2. I fear that may be a bit of a struggle. We've got the setups in a good place though. Check in. Got 97% on Schumacher, slightly less on Lawson, 91%. But they're both ready to go out. We'll send out Schumacher. I mean, we don't really have a lead driver, so we'll probably try and alternate between who's getting the optimal strategy, who's going out first and last, etc. Until we get a clear lead driver. In which case, we'll then start to do whatever's best for them. Probably. We'll see how it goes though. So both on their outlet, we're going to leave it on automatic. There's a few drivers out already too.
Yeah, I made a small mistake.
Okay. Must have already had a lock-up on his outlap. Not ideal. Not an ideal start to the first 30 seconds of your competitive career for the team. But there we go. So, Schumacher has started his flying lap. Looks like he's got clear air. Lawson probably going to catch up Sainz and Ricciardo. Don't think either of those. Yeah, they're both on outlaps. Let's hope it's not too much traffic or that the traffic doesn't impact him. Schumacher may end up with a bit, but he may...
We need to stay negative on that delta. Nice and steady on the way in.
Copy.
So what do we say? 132 288. Very slow versus Norris and Alonso, but that's fine.
Currently P4.
Faster.
Happy with us.
Then Lawson has come in.
Charge on in box. Charge on in box.
Copy.
So come in. We could get 3 runs out. The difficulty being, I'm not really worried about running through the tyres because we've got, when I have a hard, a medium, and really I want 2 softs left. Does it look like if we run on these softs, these used barely used softs that will actually cause any issue. And then we can do a fresh run, or fresh set of tyres run right at the end of qualification. Hopefully gives us the best chance of making it through. Unlikely though. But we'll do one more row. Don't have to make any changes. We're happy with the car as it is. That will fill up. Fill up. Fuel up. Lawson, same thing. Despite the lockup, didn't have too much of an impact on the tyre. Get ready. We'll get them out quickly. I know it's busy. But we have no choice. This one's more just to get them a bit more time on track.
We're P14.
Now that was a good lap.
Let's cool down a box, please.
Yeah, copy.
P14. And there's no big teams below that are just you know, had a one-off bad lap. Lawson said himself that wasn't a great lap. Don't think it made a lot of difference. Between them now, we've got 0.6 between Lawson and Schumacher. I'm glad I put it that way around with Schumacher's target a bit lower. Or higher, I suppose. He's at P18 versus P20. So we'll reconfigure quickly so we can get out. We'll put the freshers on. I'm actually relatively confident now with Schumacher. He may well make it through to Q2. Yeah, we'll put the fresh. I don't think it's good enough. We'll put the fresh on. If I was more confident that we were going to make it through without another run, we'd leave it as is. Lawson needs all the help he can get. So let's throw on the fresh softs. Now, pretty sure grip, yeah, it's just at an all-time high. So we don't really have to worry about the grip improving much. And we can see most of the teams are coming out trying to find a decent gap. Maybe leave so on. So much Stroll might be on timed laps. Doesn't state an outlap. We'll get Lawson out. And then I might slot in. Oh, yeah, Schumacher just managed to get out in front of Perez, Ocon, Hulkenberg. Hopefully didn't cause an issue for Piastri. He was on a flying lap then. But here we are. Decent gap there for Lawson. Schumacher, despite being tailed by Perez, you know, Perez is potentially frustrated with that. I definitely wouldn't want to be in the Red Bull behind the newcomer. There we go, Perez is released. That might help us out a little. Check Lawson as he's coming in. That's rather disorientating at times too, so I'll turn it down a little bit. We can use this helicopter to camera. And looking for quite a big improvement, aren't we? No easy way to actually tell the laps that we're looking for. So yeah, it's just missing it. It's rather awkward way of telling rather than just calculating. And in the meantime, I've actually just missed what Lawson was doing. But he did manage to put in a very good lap. He's only just behind Sargent. He's got Magnussen, Bottas. Magnussen and Bottas, the only two cars in between them. And actually Schumacher just misses the cut-off. So I think we're safe because we've only got Tsunoda and Albon who haven't finished. And then in theory we've only got Magnussen and Bottas who can come in. don't know if that exclamation mark might mean there's a penalty of some sort on bosses that could push us up a spot, or he's just had an incident of some sort. Given this is brand new, I'm not well versed enough to know. There we go. Schumacher out, 18th. Still pretty happy with that. It's on target. And then we have Lawson, the dizzying heights of 15th. Did not expect that. I shouldn't have been so pessimistic about our chances going into Q2. But we made it. Which means we now need to go into another qualifying round. We'll be back towards the end of the session. We'll see if we're actually fighting for Q1 or not. I was pessimistic about making Q2. I'm even more pessimistic about making Q1. Here we go. So we're in the last few minutes of Q2, and Lawson, surprisingly, 14th. I mean, he's... I can't see the time, but he's maybe just under a second. 0.8, 0.7, something like that, behind Ricciardo. So it's a big chunk to make up. But still in front of Sergeant Stroll. To be honest, I'm surprised Sergeant made it through, but there we go. I think we're going to wait for Perez to pass. And then we're going to get out. We'll do our final run. So the last run was on the softs that had a lap already taken out of them. So these are fresh softs. Let's see if that's enough to push us forward. That looked exceptionally slow. No, it's a tight corner, but still, that was very, very slow. Let's hope he speeds up. Alright. Let's catch him as he's going down the start-finish line. Let's hope he's getting a nice run into this. Check the telemetry. This is a shot now. Yeah, so about 0.7 improvement that we need. Let's see the car then. He's also been not bad now. Struggling to see us beating most of these. I mean, there's only I don't know, the RB teams, the Hasses, Sergeant and Stroll here. I think we've got a chance of beating him. I missed what happened to Albon. Obviously out in Q3. Surprised to see he got beaten by his teammate. Let's check while we're here. What was? Got it up. Already got him selected. Lawson. So 130.16. So we kind of need a 130. Flat almost. Coming in now. Doesn't look too good. No, it looks not even close. That was a particularly poor lap. He was almost a second slower. He's just lost time everywhere. Well, to be honest, I didn't expect much more. Maybe we can hang on to 4th. Maybe we can hang on to 15th. Or not. P16 it is. Which I suppose is fair. And, meaning, start the race 16th, 18th. Lawson looking like he's quite comfortable relative to his target of P20. So, hopefully, we'll show off our racecraft, our strategy.
Here in Sakir,
and,
the
we'll see some
floodlights are on,
improvements
and it's nearly
actually in
time
the
for
race.
57 laps around.
It's just a cloudy day. So, here we are. Strategy time. Lawson 16th, Schumacher 18th. And we're on a two-stopper. It's Bahrain. The weather is cloudy but fine, so we don't really have to worry about changing in weather, wet tyres, etc. So that's fine. And let's have a look at the different strategies. So, I mean, they're all two stoppers, and basically it's just once you take your medium, first, second, or third stint. And what's the obviously just taking a longer stint on the softs. They're all kind of, I don't know if this estimated race time should be changing every time, but they're pretty much the same. As we go, so we'll go strategy A. Start on the softs for Lawson, see if we can gain some ground, and then we'll offset Schumacher. And we'll actually start on the medium, so we'll go medium, soft, soft for Schumacher. Now, I said earlier that we actually have a pretty decent fuel efficiency in the Renault engine. It's pretty much the only thing it's good for, so let's reduce the fuel. I'm not sure how good fuel energy actually translates into how many laps, but it's a 57 lap. We'll take 4 off of... Well, yeah, we'll take... I'm not going to do any more. I was then tempted to go high, but we'll take 4 off Lawson. We'll take 2 off Schumacher. Oh no, let's just take 4 off both. Let's keep it fair. They've both got 4 laps left. Bearing in mind, 75% chance that we have a safety car anyway, so we'll save some fuel then. And if we take this driver options, we do want to just crank everything up. Because at the start of the race, we'll want to drive a bit aggressively into turn 1 and the following turns and see if we can actually have an improvement in position early on. Light.
22 cars on the grid. And it's lights out, and away we go.
So Lawson's lost a spot. So Schumacher, inside line, didn't pay off, but it might when we come into turn 1, and it's going to be exceptionally slow. Very close to contact there. We've got a bit of a fight going on with Zoe and Schumacher, but looks like Lawson's in the clear. Right. So we might be able to get them to settle in now. We'll just speed up to the end of the first lap. Thought we were getting something interesting there, but DRS is now available. We're firmly in the DRS train. We're going to turn back the fuel standard and ERS. And we can kind of settle into our first stint. Not expecting too much movement. Might try to keep Schumacher in this DRS zone, just so we can hang on to Bottas and the rest of the drivers ahead. We'll be back when there's something interesting. So we actually have Lawson and Schumacher now past Bottas.
Now we're watching the action closely here. There's the opening.
And it's a clean overtake.
And the overtake is made.
Concerns there. Quite high speed round here. So shouldn't have to worry about a re-overtake, except for when we come back to the start-finish as we are now.
Yeah, copy that.
That's
What does in your DRS?
pretty close, so... He has DRS though. That's not enough. And then hopefully we can hang on to the 17, 18. So at the minute both on target. Obviously no pit stops yet. We've got Bottas running longer, or luckily longer on the mediums. And actually it's worth saying, I mean I just didn't confirm the selection for Schumacher correctly because he's also on the softs. So they're running identical strategies. I suppose technically not. I suppose I could choose to run a medium second stint and 1/3 stint, but a bit early now for only lap 6 to be worrying too much about that. We've got Magnussen on the mediums, the rest above, that would interest us at least, are on the softs. And maybe got a bit more degradation
DRS now.
than I would like. There we are. We've started to separate a little bit now. Bottas has got DRS on us. We can do with Schumacher actually dropping off a little bit. Let's conserve some of that fuel.
Come out. We need to maintain lift and coast, please.
We've got Lawson taking up DRS on Schumacher to help him in the fight against Bottas.
Feedback on tires when you can.
Lawson is struggling a little bit. He's trying to deploy a little bit of system.
Overtake available.
Copy.
So you don't want to use it to overtake. I think Boss has to knock on and got in a fight. That's what was what helped us out a little bit. But Lawson is struggling a little to keep up with Schumacher. So I think that's not a task where I'm going to end up winning. Oddly, despite having serving on fuel. Oh, sorry, I misread that. I thought that was I was reading this. I thought Lawson. Oh no, I was right. Schumacher has actually overtaken. I missed it. Schumacher has overtaken Magnussen. Despite conserving fuel. There's a big gap now between Schumacher and Albon, though. And then if we come off the balance, we do deploy.
Start to push. Copy.
We need to put a little bit of pressure on. I would like
Alright, buddy, push, push.
Magnussen to get out of our DRS zone. But Magnussen's out of the DRS zone. We can
Phase now, please. Phase update now.
and we can start to relax a bit. Look
After these.
Magnusen's locking up at top or something, but he's struggling a little bit. We can actually conserve a bit more fuel.
Okay, some more lift and coast, please. A bit more in each zone.
Not managed to conserve any fuel with Lawson yet, but he's got Ocon kind of dangerously close, so we'll roll forward a few more laps, not expecting anything of interest. Perhaps Ocon is going to go on the attack against Lawson, but that's it. So far we've maintained, I was going to say maintained 16th and 18th, but just missed it. Lawson has overtaken Magnussen.
Here's the replay. Now we're approaching turn 2. It's certainly inviting.
Into turn 1. Neatly done.
And the overtake is made.
And that's us running 16th, 17th. So, looks unlikely unless we see something dramatic happen, so we're going to end up in the points, but it's still a good showing for a new team. And we're coming into the pit window, or almost the pit window now. Oh, and Magson's used the DRS to get back ahead. So might be flicking between the two, or actually Magnussen's shot forward now, and starting to see people go into the pits. Yeah, Magnussen is on the tail of Schumacher. Well, let me put it down to times 1. I feel like pausing is maybe a little bit cheaty. Pausing and analysing the lap times would be ideal.
Keep your thoughts, all good.
We've seen some degradation in our
Yeah, now the
times now.
2 seconds.
I think we're going to bring should check the tyres. I mean, both of them didn't coming in fairly short fashion, but we'll bring Schumacher in first. So that's our pit window done.
Copy.
Don't know if I can actually change the strategy here, or if it's just going to accept I've gone off track. Actually, we'll stick with it. Let's throw on a new pair of softs. We've actually got 2 pairs of softs with Schumacher. We'll bring him in.
We will be ready.
Okay, copy.
Box this lap, please. Box this lap.
We go quite aggressive on the tyres now. Want to save
We're doing a good job.
some of our
all
battery
most required.
so we can have some good outlaps.
And we have margin to push a little bit more on the tires.
Not many have pitted, so perhaps we can undercut a few, but we might see a bunch of cars now bail in. So I suppose from like Sonoda back, we're kind of interested in Ricardo, Sonoda, etc. What they're doing. No one's in so far. Right, no, there's a Hulkenberg in. It's an exceptional pit time. It's at 6 seconds. Right, we've only got one set of freshers. One set of fresh softs. So we'll pit Lawson for those, and then I'll leave our last stint on the mediums. So we've not hit our mandatory 2 dry compounds yet. So we will a bit later on. Let's do this bit in action. Felt slow, but it's not our slowest pit.
Okay, sorry for that.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, it looks like a pit stop issue. Now talk us through this one, Karun.
So the pit
Tyre-
stop starts well enough.
It's just the exact same view that we just had.
It looks like it's just too tight though.
Clearly see what tyre that was struggling with, but
P20. Our next one is Hulkenberg.
it's a bit of a spanner in the works. I don't think a strong outlap is actually going to make a lot of difference now. Let's
Keep going with the lift off. You're doing very good job. Keep going with the lift off.
ease off on the fuel a little
Coast
bit.
required.
Copy.
But it didn't take long for us to come out with something interesting, because we have indeed had Magnussen and Zoe. I thought Magnussen had pitted, but perhaps not. Magnussen and Zoe company. Zoe had an issue with the pit, so we've got a bit more space. As Gasly hasn't pitted. And completely lost now. And well, I think it's about 22 seconds. I think it's stated in the report is the non-safety car average time. So the fact that I have no idea what happened with that. But just popped up to 20 odd seconds. Yellow flag.
2 cars out. Watch out for debris.
We've got Williams. Oh, he's just bit of an incident there. Not a good side. I didn't even see it was in the bottom left corner. I had to guess that probably would have
And you
been
can just feel the frustration from the team watching on the
the
monitors.
driver that I would have picked to be involved. So it just caused a yellow flag. It doesn't look like. Where are they? They are up ahead. Where's Hulkenberg? Is he in the mix there somewhere? Yeah, I think he's hiding in there somewhere. So there is a penalty. It's come through. Sargent, 5 seconds. Causing a collision. That does likely play into us a little bit. We're not within 5 seconds yet, but if they've got damage and a 5-second penalty, that could be an extra spot we gain. We're going to calm down on the fuel consumption. There is we've got a few more pits coming in Gasly, so we'll be in right positions now. So back to 16th, 17th. We're way off. Way off from Sargent and Albon. Start to use some of our battery on both the cars. Just to narrow that gap a little bit. We want to be ready to pounce if we do get within those 5 seconds. But anyway, we'll settle in. We'll work through stint number 2 and see if there's any more interesting drama up ahead that might help our positions a little bit. So we're back. Hulkenberg's just pitted and set the fastest lap. Impressive. He's got fairly fresh tyres and a lot less fuel than when it was previously set. Maddoxon's has made a charge through, so things are moving too fast for me to actually say it, so we'll slow it down. I had moved us to 16th, 17th, but last two just pitted. Was that Sargent? Yeah, must have been Sargent that pitted. It's at the back of the pack. We were gaining on him quite significantly. He's got some damage. And then we go. Schumacher with one up of that.
I just went into quick.
The yellow
Let's
flag.
have a look at the action. It's all at the final corner. And there's the lockup. Just unable to control the car by that point.
Don't think he needed to slow it down that much, but I suppose it's fine. He's now within DRS of Hulkenberg, who's setting lightning fast lap time, so he's not going to hold on to that position for very long. Or when Norris to join him with setting flying laps. So, 24 laps left. In terms of fuel, we still have a negative delta on both cars. We're still conserving. We're looking in a better shape for Schumacher than we are for Lawson. Could really do with a safety car though. Maybe 4 laps was a bit aggressive. We'll find out. So we're now into the pit window. Check out Schumacher. He's starting to get some issues.
Tyres looking under control.
Probably going to have to call him in for... this is terrible. We're going to have to call him in quite early on in this window. We'll do that now. Onto the mediums. "26 seconds
Box this lap, please. Box.
estimated time, which will put us right at the back of the pack with something there. Hopefully he can concentrate, no lockups, and put in some good lap times. We're almost at a neutral delta now for fuel, so I'm actually going to put it back to balance and hope.
No lift and coast required.
Hope for both of them.
Let's lift off, please.
With a safety car also. Here's the potential, I suppose, for more safety cars, given that we mix up in orders. We'll have some faster cars perhaps behind
And behind you is
the
Bottas.
slower ones, and that's always a recipe for disaster. go. The yellow mediums are on. That was a hell of a lot faster. 2.6. He's out. Mediums. Lawson, come on down. It's time for some fresh mediums. And hopefully some good laps. If the only option is this drone or airborne camera view whilst we're in the pits. Bottas in the pits as well behind us. Let's hope it stays that way round. Nice clean pit. We're in. We're eventually out. 2.7. Looks like we're clear in front of him.
Focus on reaction time and no full throttle before pit exit.
Right, we're fine. We're out.
Okay, so it's currently P18 in front of us.
Drive a little aggressively. I want to pull away from Bottas.
Okay, Bottas coming now. "20 laps to go. Warm up your tires."
That's enough. We top that up. Okay, so pitting is done. Not quite as confident. This is when we're in coming out of the first pit, but here we are. Still an issue with fuel on both of them. I'm going to have to make some decisions now. Lawson is going to struggle to finish unless we conserve. Everyone's been racing quite nicely, so no safety cars so far. But we'll come back. We'll work through a few of these laps on this stint, see where we are towards the end.
Wow. Wow.
We've just had a multi-car
Okay,
crash.
okay.
I think we might have been involved in
Oh,
that
what
with
just
Schumacher.
Here we
So
are
go
then,
straight
at
to the
the
replay.
11th corner. Tries to get
Off
by.
with off on.
The car's coming together right there. A bitter blow too.
Bit hard
for
to tell
one
whether he
more
squeezed
driver
us.
from the pack.
Looked like we were then knocked off the track, but Bottas' crew not happy about it. But I feel like if anything, we were worse off.
I don't know how big the damage is, but I can't drive.
Major front wing damage.
We'll have a look.
I mean, we're going to have to hit. I think I've done that with 100 metres left. So we've got a new front wing. There's 4 of them left. I don't really care because we've got new front wings being made. Well, I'd rather them not get damaged, but I don't care particularly about using these. We've hit our... I've lost the words now. We've hit our requirement to have 2 different dry compounds, the softs and the mediums, so we can actually just head back to the softs. And although not really a lot of point of driving at, but perhaps we can just get some more time with Schumacher in the car.
Can I put a tree?
He can absolutely blitz it in the softs. And yeah, I was right. Ocon was deemed to have squeezed us off track. He's got damage. He's got a 5-second penalty. But there we are. No safety car. But we are very close to being neutral on the fuel, but it doesn't really matter because we're 18 with Lawson anyway.
I didn't want to tire.
Keep your head down.
Another yellow flag. I'm not sure if that was Lawson. We had a come up. Not one. Yeah, there we
Now
go.
we should
Not wanting
be
to
able
mess
to
his
take a
tyres up.
look here.
He's had a lock up.
Let's have a look as we go into the 13th corner. Oh, and the car locks up.
God, that was
And
a.
they'll need to be mindful of
that
the
was
effect
one hell of a
that
lock
had
up.
on the
He did mess up. And I mean, he was quite close to Gasly. Not so much now.
Battery is on the low side.
Yeah, we can top of our battery now.
Charge on.
Positive delta on fuel. Let's let
Let's push.
Schumacher push hard for a lap or two. otherwise, I think we're kind of settling for 19th and unfortunately 22nd. Ocon's 5-second penalties not going to make a lot of difference, to be honest. So we are on to the final lap. I may have let the view high for too long on Schumacher, but we're hoping he's going to sort that negative delta out. We've got Lawson in 19th. There's really not going to be anything interesting in the last few laps. Schumacher was making a charge on the zone, but it's for 21st place, so probably not worth risking any damage.
Energy's good.
At all. So
Recharge off.
might as well ride on board with Lawson as he rides in for 19th place. Although
Updates on tires when
still
you
a
can,
pick up
please.
mark, so I don't think this is his final lap.
Struggling a little bit with the fronts.
Fast forward a little bit. Oh, we did get Schumacher did
Let's
Actually,
take a look at
so.
the replay. And it was Mick Schumacher involved.
down
They
into turn
decided
one.
to give it a go.
That felt a little cheeky because I assumed that was a
And that move puts
blue
them
flag for that.
21st.
oh, pitching a blue flag for that on the car.
And that is the checkered flag. Let's discuss the other car. Alright, I'm sorry. Okay, so it'll be normal switch off procedures. Please come to a stop for 4 or 5 seconds, then go to P1.
So
And another 5
Schumacher,
seconds. P0.
because of where it was in the track, has actually finished. We've got Lawson to finish off. He's 4 seconds behind Gasly. It looks close, but that's a very slow corner here. So I don't think we've got anything left to give to improve. So first. Not the final, the first stint. First race, Dino Racing, 19th, 21st in Bahrain. A fairly poor showing, if we're honest. Exactly what we expected. As we see Lawson come home united.
Okay, we take the flag.
Only minor
Yeah,
damage.
frustration.
Well, major damage to our front
Okay,
whing,
stop.
but overall
At the
minor
bridge.
damage to the
It
car.
will be P1 on P0.
Didn't get any penalties, which can't be the same. Can't say the same for Ocon. Schumacher off track, so that hurts a little bit. So in terms of driver performance for the day, we had target 20th or better for Lawson. He achieved that 19th, so $480,000 we got there. Schumacher, not so good. Target 18th, ended up 21st. And there we go. We prep for Saudi Arabia. Thanks for watching.